and what's hot today will keep you wired in every way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Livewire. Wake up, the day is bright, time to feel the flow. Turn your dial to Livewire, we're ready to go. With Courdel Jones, you know it's gonna be real. From 8 to 9, from 8 to 9, bringing vibes you can feel. News, views, and what's hot today will keep you wired in every way. We'll keep you wired every way, in every way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Stories that matter, we got the scoop. From the latest headlines to the local truth. It's your community, your voice, your power. Livewire hits you every hour. So grab your coffee, your tea, or toast. With Courdel Jones, we'll give you the most. Livewire, we'll give you the way. Running to the energy, the beat of the street, the show that connects. It's where people meet. We're wired to your world, we got the news. On Livewire, there's nothing to lose. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Stories that matter, we got the scoop. From the latest headlines to the local truth. It's your community, your voice, your power. Livewire hits you every hour. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning lighting up your heart. It's your community, your voice, your power. Livewire hits you every hour. Wake up, the day is bright, time to feel the flow. Turn your dial for your vibe, we're ready to go. With Courdel Jones, you know it's gonna be real. From 8 to 9, bringing vibes you can feel. News, views, and what's hot today will keep you wired in every way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Wake up, the day is bright, time to feel the flow. Turn your dial to Livewire, we're ready to go. With Courdel Jones, you know it's gonna be real.
Good morning to everyone. Welcome to another episode of Livewire. We're coming to you live from Kwakwani. Just before we get things kicked off, just let me know from the comment section if you guys are hearing me clearly, just to make sure that the audio is okay before we get things started. Morning to all the persons joining us across the diaspora. Morning to the persons joining us across the 10 administrative regions. I trust everybody's having a wonderful morning. As I told you yesterday, we'll be coming to you live from Kwakwani today. We made it in, and we're with the Ministry of Housing, the Central Housing and Planning Authority, for their activity today. So they will be doing some allocations today here in Kwakwani. So the team is here. This is the Kwakwani Recreational Center. And just to give you a view of the event location what's gonna be happening or where it's gonna be happening. Right, so no problem. So this is the area here where the event will be taking place. The Ministry of Housing staff are on the ground already. I think I saw Minister Crow's vehicle somewhere in Linden. We would have passed them. So they're behind us on their way in as well. But aside from this activity, It's really great to see the investment the government has made in this area, for the recreational facilities, other infrastructure as well, right? So let me take you on the outside a bit to show you what's going on in here. They have a long stretch under construction, concrete roads and that kind of thing happening up here. How many persons were able to catch the press conference yesterday by General Secretary Barry Jagdeo? Um, we're gonna discuss some of those things in a minute, but we're just taking you around Kwakwani to give you a little look at the community for those who probably never been here before. I must be honest with you, this is my first time in Kwakwani. I've never been to Kwakwani before. This is the Regional Democratic Council for the area. Their office is here. And, excuse me, I'm sorry. So yesterday at the press conference, a lot of things discussed, and, and I must say, I did see the video with the guy asking the questions about the manifesto and what they plan to do and those kinds of things. Anyway, we can get into that. You just taking a quick stroll around the village here, quick, to see what's going on. So the Board of Industrial Trading, BIT, Minister Hamilton, that falls under Minister Hamilton, they have a facility up here as well. This is their training center there, the smaller building. I don't know what this building is. It doesn't have a name, but I'm thinking it has something to do with the town council. But reasonable roads and stuff. A very quiet area. Looks very peaceful. I don't know what the nightlife is like, but anyway, guys, let's get into it this morning. We in Kokwani, and that's that. Morning. Oh shit. Right. So I was getting the camera set. Sorry. Yeah, oh, oh, uh, all right. Good. Right, guys. So, welcome to Kokwani again. Welcome to this episode of Livewire with yours truly. It's the 28th of March, 2025. And as I said before, we're coming to you live from Kokwani. We're going to be talking with Minister Kroll in a few. I'm coming over to you there. I'm coming over to you. Morning, morning. We're going to be talking to Minister Kroll in a few some of the officials from Kwakwani here to see what's going on with that. But that aside, I wanted to discuss the press conference a bit yesterday. I'm kind of upset I'm not in town, but I do have internet, so I should be able to attend the AFC press conference. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what we heard yesterday at the General Secretary of the PVP's press conference yesterday. Um, One of the things that, especially with some of the questions that I would have asked, no, the first one that jumped out at me, and I think this should be Minister Kroll arriving here. Morning, morning. I don't know, sir. Please go to the tents and find out. Yeah, right. So I think this is Minister Kroll arriving here. I am. I'm not sure, but anyway. So as I was saying, I was asking about the statement that the AFC would have put out, talking about persons being um, intimidated, and how do they, or how does that translate to what the AFC, the APNU, and the WPA have been doing to Afro Guyanese who decide to exercise their right to support a party that's not the few that I mentioned before. They have been chastised, they've been called all sorts of names, all sorts of things. Is that not violating their constitutional right? Is it not in their constitutional right to choose which party they want to support, if they want to support a party at all? Look at what they're trying to do to James Bond. But the good thing about James Bond is a professional, he's a lawyer, and he can defend himself properly. Unlike some other persons who may not be that um, eloquent with words to put a stop to the foolish attacks that they would get from these persons in the opposition side. You know? So in my view, I think it was more than hypocritical of the AFC to even want to mention some of these things in their press statements. Persons who are members of the AFC call Afro Guyanese who support things outside of the PNC, APNU, AFC, WPA grouping sellouts. How is it that they're selling out? Isn't that a form of intimidation? Isn't that a form of intimidation? Right? Now, at the end of the day, those persons who went out to see us as have a right to do so. And those persons who went to protest against us had a right to do so. So at the end of the day, everybody should be free to support what they want to support. And political parties cannot be selective in calling out certain foolishness that they're seeing happening in society. Right? And this has become the trend of the AFC. I don't know if y'all saw the video I made where I called out Laura George for her foolishness. Right? I called out Laura George for her foolishness. Out of all the things that you could talk about to represent indigenous people, and that's why I call her, I'm gonna come out this sun, boy. Jeez, it's hot. Yeah, that is why I call her the sleeping indigenous ambassador. That is why I use the term the sleeping indigenous ambassador. Because at the end of the day, Laura George has an opportunity to make good representation for indigenous people. You understand? And what causes her to find a voice is a social media mixer, a social media content creator, influencer mixer. That is what allows her to find a voice. You understand? to speak out about something. Oh, I don't see indigenous people here. I don't see indigenous. They took the Wi-Fi from Sarama. They took the Wi-Fi from Sarama. You understand? That nonsense she going on with provided no proof of any Wi-Fi being removed from Sarama. And then lamenting over not seeing indigenous representation at the influencer mixer. You when they were the indigenous people there. And on to now, the AFC nor Laura George can come forward to say anything about what that woman has said against Amerindian people. Not a single word. And Amerindians should vote, Guyanese Amerindians should vote for these people later on this year to represent them. We're in parliament and on the international stage. You gotta be joking. I know they may think indigenous people might be fooled easily, but I don't think that's the case with them right now. You understand? I don't think that that's the case, right? So that aside, the 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 general secretary also spoke about the video where I don't know the guy, Afro Guyanese guy was asking about the taxes and asking about um manifesto plans, right? Now here the ignorance and this potential from this potential alleged presidential candidate. Y'all tag him because at least I'm hoping that when he sees these things, he'd be able to do better and not be engaged in certain foolishness anymore. Or these stupid things that keep making him look bad. So think about it. Someone comes and says, man, why haven't you paid these taxes? How you know I pay the taxes? Because the tax agency said so. The tax agency said so. The agency in charge of collecting taxes in this country said you didn't pay it. That's where you got the information from. Is either you could refute it or accept it and say sorry, or you're gonna pay it and move on. But what nonsense you telling citizens? How you know I didn't pay taxes? The tax agency said so that you didn't pay the taxes. What nonsense you're asking people? Then when people ask you about a manifesto, when the time come, we gonna deal with that. Retarded, completely retarded. I don't know how some Guyanese see this as a viable presidential candidate or anything of any sort. Not even a town councillor. A town councillor gonna got more sense than that. Even a town council would have an idea of what he wants to see in his community to enhance it, make it better, do something. You understand? This guy doesn't even make himself aware of what is happening in some of these communities before he goes. So that even if somebody said, well, what are you going to do about it? He has an answer. All he's interested in is the crowd fluttering around him and people fighting to take pictures. You understand? And as you've heard from the president, you've heard from the vice president, you've heard from ministers of government, you've heard from several political pundits. Elections is more than just Facebook and them kind of things that they think it is. You understand? Much more than these things. And when you actually are elected and you have to do for the people, that is more than just lip service on the campaign trail. And that is what we found out with the APNU when they got into power. They talked a wonderful game. Vote like a boss and do this and do that and all kind of thing to do. And got young people to support them in 2015. And as soon as they got in, they realized how serious it is to run a country and what was required. And they did not have it. They did not have it. They failed miserably. And in 2020, the Guyanese said we had enough of that foolishness. We ran from the dead and we butt up with the coffin. And we didn't want that. Hence, Irfan Ali is president right now. Dr. Irfan Ali is president right now. You understand me? I'm waiting for Minister Kroll to get here. I don't want to jump the gun with him because I want him to talk about housing and the process of housing. Because you know what persons are going to say about this activity today? That because Nigel Hughes and all those people from the AFC that he brought in here, not Kwakwani people. Because if you check on the crossing, half the people in the photo come on the crossing, not people from Kwakwani. One and two people come out. He's gonna say that is his he make the Ministry of Housing come here to do this activity today. But I'm telling every one of you here right now, it's a lot more into allotting a house lot than just coming out and pulling numbers and that kind of foolishness. A lot more goes into it, a lot of background work. So it is not off the heels of Nigel Hughes' visit to this community that the Ministry of Housing is here with the Central Housing and Planning Authority. It's long work that would have happened in the background that would have come to fruition to bring us to this point where people in Kwakwani will be allotted house lots. I'm not sure if there's an identification today as well, but they will be allotted house lots here today, right? It is a lot that goes into that process. Land identification, clearing, infrastructure, all that goes into there. And that can't just happen because Nigel Hughes been here last week. And that's what I want people to understand. It doesn't happen like that, right? It doesn't happen like that. I wanna talk to one of these Linden officials here. Let me go and get the other mic so we could we could we could have a word. Because you got the idea of development in here too as well. Good. So hold on a second. Let me get the other mic, and let's hear from people in the area, the community, people who actually live in region 10 and will benefit from all these initiatives that are being implemented across the region, right? So I'm glad you guys are here with me. The internet connections looks pretty okay. We're not breaking up. I didn't see. I don't see. I don't see Minister Crone. Minister, come. Okay, guys, just hold on. Let me get started. Just a second. Just a second, guys. Let me see what's going on over here. Oh, 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 sorry. Hi. All right, good. Thank you. Minister gone inside already. He's still in pick up. Right, guys. So welcome back. Morning, morning. Right here, good. Come out the road in case anything
Yes,
passes.
yes.
All right, good. So give us your name and what you do up here in region number 10.
My name is Andrew Forsyth.
Uh-huh.
I'm the regional coordinator in region number 10.
Good. So we're in Kokwani.
Mm.
I know a lot of work is happening in central Linden, but talk to us about Kokwani and what's been happening up here.
Well, I think you walk around here a little bit this morning,
Mhm.
and you could see rapid development is happening here in Kwakwani. We have a road network. We spend about $2.4 billion in road network. All the roads in Kwakwani will be done.
Mhm.
The kind of development that you witness here in Kwakwani, not now, before when the PP civil was in government, and now the PP back in government, all the roads here you see will be completed in Kokwani. They have the upgrade of the education institution, the hospital.
Mhm.
You understand? We have new cities, um, machines in the new machines in the hospital.
Mhm.
We're going to be doing an expansion of the airfield, the airfield where the planes land.
Right.
Another 200 and something $1 million spent on the upgrade of that airstrip in Kokwani. So what you see is going on here is what's happening. This kind of development you see happening here in Kokwani have never happened before under any other administration than the People's Progressive Party civic government administration.
Right. Now, how have the residents been receiving that? The new roads, I see BIT has a training facility just over there.
Yeah.
What's been happening with BIT and that kind of thing in the area?
Well, this is one of the things we're doing not only here in Kokwani, in Linden. I think we last year I think we trained over 300 something persons. Here also in Kokwani, we're doing not only the Kokwani but also in the Borbis River,
Mhm.
right? So we are bringing this technical training here in these outskirt areas. As you know, here was normally a bauxite mining operation. And you know the old sad story about the bauxite
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
Since the AP and UAFC came into government, even though that Rusal had just spent over 2 point something $billion in establishing a new mine called Kurbuka. In the first year after in office, they closed down because the bauxite industry to close down, putting over 1,000 workers on the bread line, but not offering anything for them to do.
Right.
So, we're still looking at option a road from coming through from this place in the quarantine right through to Kwani here.
Okay.
So we're doing a lot of expansion. Lately objective as related to the agriculture drive. I must
Mhm.
compliment the hard work of the Minister of Agriculture in doing and expanding agriculture in our country.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So a lot happening up here in the region. My final thing to you, how do you see the addition of the 4-lane bridge changing the daily commute of Lindeners and more so the removal of that toll?
Well, as you know, we have right now we're resurfacing and expanding the highway from Linden to Stoosdike, and that highway, when it's finished, should be lighted up with about 2,500, 2,900 lights. We have the first leg of the highway that is going from Linden, first leg to Moboro. That's a 190 million US project, and that will continue right down to Letem, connecting Brazil and Guyana.
Right.
You could understand the connectivity between Brazil and Guyana when that highway, open and so forth, and working on the departure port and so forth. That most of it's cheaper to pass the goods through northern Brazil through Guyana.
Right.
So there'll be a big expansion. Now, coming to the bridge, I welcome that initiative of the government of Ghana making the bridges free. We don't only promise, we deliver. We don't do target talk, we walk the walk, right? As you know, President come and say you can promise to have a bridge across, a new bridge across, a 4-lane bridge across Wisma Mackenzie. And you could see that that is in construction right now.
Right.
Also, we have the new bridge which will be linking um, the east bank of on the west bank and region 3 and region 4. And then again, also the Borbies, they'll be putting a new high span bridge across the Borbies River. Why is the president that promised that when the bridge was open, we would have done that? He fought forward that situation, keeping his promise. He made that promise last year, and that promise will be kept. Right? You understand me? So I welcome that initiative. It's going to put more disposable into people's pocket. We do a lot of things to make sure we put more in. We just almost complete this 100,000 cash grant to every adult person in our region. And a lot of people are pleased about that situation and wanted to know when more can come. But after we win in the next election, more will be coming, right? Because the People's Progressive Party is a different party than any other party. They look after the interests of the people of this country.
All right. Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Forsyth. And do keep up the good work you and your team are doing here in the region. And that's just something that a lot of people don't understand. It's not just Linden, it's Kwakwani. There's several indigenous communities on the river and things like that as well.
Yes.
When you go into the Rockstone area, places like that as well.
But we just issue, most of the area, it's under this party that people are seeing electricity in the jungle, right? Almost all the areas in the interior, we having the solar electric being given to the residents in those areas. You understand? And not lately, we also help people with these big water tanks, and that's coming into housing because the Minister of Housing is here now. And I could tell you because we're doing an expansion of the housing area in Kwakwani, right across the river. We will be establishing a housing area right over the river there and the hill there, right? Because most of the people in the waterfront get flooding during the heavy rainy season. So we establish a new housing area there, and those people who haven't got title there here in Kwakwani will receive title for the land that they live in.
Okay, all right.
So we are working with the people, and we'll expect the people to work with us also.
Exactly. All right. Thanks for these updates, Mr. Forsyth. Thank you again for talking to us. So that was Andrew Forsyth, the head of the CDC up here in region number 10, giving us a rundown on what exactly is going on in the area, the different aspects of development, and ensuring that we understand that who has been championing this aspect of development within the region. We're going to go into the event area there and sit and wait until Minister Crowell is ready. The sun is not ordinary, so I am going to seek some shelter. But again, we're coming to you live from Kwakwani here. As you can see, this is where the allocation exercise is going to take place. A lot of CHMPA staff already on the ground, waiting for Kwakwani allottees to come, do select their number, pay for their house lot, and move their process forward, basically. Something I'm thinking persons in this area would have been waiting on for some time, right? So, wow. It's like the sun everywhere. All right, so I'm gonna sit here. Give me a second. Let me turn around the camera. Ah, boy. Right. So back to cricket. Another thing I wanted to address, I saw a lot of persons posting and having a lot to say because the Secretary of State would have, spoken about roads being built by Chinese and those people bringing in their own people and whatnot, whatnot, whatnot. Y'all big and y'all got sense, right? The US and China have their own thing going on. Guyana has had a very amicable relationship with China for many years. So, what do you expect? Somebody said no hearing you. Y'all in hearing all the time? No, man. Mm, y'all wasn't hearing all the time? Anyway, so if y'all are hearing me, just let me know in the comments. So let's be realistic. The China and US have their own feud going on. And what do you expect the US Secretary of State to do? Come and endorse China's work in this country? No, they want you to get more US aid. So he's going to speak towards moving away from getting aid from China and getting it from the US. You understand? I mean, anyway, I just wanted to give you all that bit of clarity there in relation to that. You have to understand. Yeah, you have to understand how some of these things work and what are some of the background issues that may be pushing certain sentiments being expressed by certain individuals. So again, I'm saying to you, this is not an indictment on the help that Guyana has continuously gotten from China, and in terms of tangible help, right? Proper help. Somebody said the audio going on and off sometimes, but I don't know. Anyway, a lot of other people said it hearing loud and clear, right? We've gotten a lot of major help from China, and I just want persons to understand that this is a issue that does not really involve Guyana in relation to this animosity that the US and the Chinese may have against each other. But each side will push their own agenda. Guyana on defense. We want help from everybody. We ain't looking to alienate anybody and make any enemies and those kinds of things. You understand? At least that's my opinion on the matter. Right? Again, let me go and see what's up with Minister Kroll, so we could get this interview out of the way and get on with today's work. And you guys could get on with whatever you guys are doing there. So let me go and check on him. I'll leave you with some music in the background whilst I go and see what's going on with that. Right? So just give me a few, guys.
That's my land. The secret was my home. So that's my home. So when they been a suffer, nobody not been a fight for we. Now everybody want a piece. So we started reach the sin and where before they bring exam to find a help for we. We know how that fill up their minds, you see. And now that make them a rival way. Me just wish them could have seen all of the years they been a suffer like that. Me say forever, forever and ever. A secret boy my own. A secret boy my own. From the islands and rivers and mountains surrounding, the love in my heart is resounding. I'm loving Guyana, my country, but a secret boy is forever my own. Remember childhood days, the by the riverside and laugh and play. The black water when I learned to swim back then, still living in my memories. Always try live good with neighbors. From them cry we offer assistance. And when we didn't have much, everybody liked us. That's why we don't believe that. When we see it on the media, yo, them coulda tried claim peace in my land. When we never see none of them when struggle me not go on. Yo, what kind of leader? Fight down poor people for land where them grow up on. Most generous people in the world. From anyone knock we are open windows. But forever, forever and ever, a secret boy is my own. A secret boy is my own. Yeah. From the islands and rivers and mountains surrounding, the love in my heart is resounding. I'm loving Guyana, my country, but a secret boy is forever my own. Forever my own. A secret boy is my own. Secret boy is my own. Yeah. So forever. Forever.
Okay, guys, so we have Minister Kroll here. We're going to have a quick talk with him about today's activity. And
Morning, how are you doing? All right.
so, morning, Minister Kroll. Welcome to Livewire. We haven't had you here for a minute, but it's always good to talk to you. The last time we spoke, we were in Bartica Region 7, where the CHNPA and the Ministry of Housing and Water and the CHNPA did an allocation in Bartica. We're here in Kwakwani today. Talk to us about this activity, how many house lots will be distributed, and how CHNP is moving forward in terms of ensuring persons of Region 10 and Kwakwani benefit from affordable housing.
So, good morning to your listeners. It's always a pleasure to be able to give you the opportunity to brief your listeners and to update you to what is happening in this sector. As you rightly said, last time we spoke, we were in Region 7. Today we are in Region 10. A week ago, we were in another region. So you'll recognize we're in all of the regions as part of our commitment and our fulfillment of government's program to ensure that across the length and breadth of our country, we are able to have that reach and to be able to implement our housing program. So we are in Region 10, but Kwakwani more particularly. Sometimes when people hear Region 10, they're accustomed over the central location or Wisma or Amelia's Ward, etc. But Kwakwani is another location for which we have a housing drive. And this is a part of the other district in Region 10. So we have approximately up to about 300 lots. This is the first phase. If there's more demand, obviously we'll be able to respond accordingly. But we have a new housing development we're commencing here for Kwakwani. For two aspects. We have pending applicants as well as, I don't know if you can recall, I want to put your mind back, but maybe 2-3 years ago, where first of all there's an issue of flooding on the waterfront, and whenever we have that prolonged rainfall, this part of our country, Kwakwani, we always have to bring relief. We always have to do relocation, etc. So we are committed as part of our program to be able to relocate persons. And so this is also our intention to address those persons.
Okay. No, Minister, the staff of the CHNP have been working feverishly to have these allocations done and to deal with backlogs and things like that. Is that a major issue in the Kwakwani area of backlogs or just new applications coming into the system?
Well, first of all, the hard work that you see from the Ministry and the Central Housing and Planning Authority is also as a result of a mandate. That first of all, we committed, as when we campaigned, we said 50,000 house lots. In fact, I recall in the first budget debate, the former Minister Ferguson said we were selling dreams and questioning our numbers. Here we are today, we're 42,000 plus. And in fulfilling that mandate, it means that we have to go back into our system. And when we came into government, we were about 68,000 pending applicants back then. Although we've allocated 42,000 plus, you still have persons who are applying. And we committed, therefore, that once we're able to find land and get additional lands, we will be able to clear the backlog. As a result, what is the commitment that was given and announcement by the president? This year, we'll be clearing all the backlogs for all of the regions except Region 4. Why? Because Region 4 has the largest pending applicants,
Right.
40, maybe about 44 to 48,000 pending applicants. So you'll recognize that as the largest. We do have some pending applicants in Kwakwani. It's not the largest among 4 Region 10 itself.
Right.
We've done already over 1,700 plus in Region 10, but that would be for within Wisma as well as Amelia's ward, phase 4.
Right.
And this is the response for a new initiative today.
All right. Minister, thank you for talking with us. I know you have a busy day ahead of you with all these allocations and moving housing forward in Guyana. Keep up the good work with the Ministry, Central Housing and Planning Authority, and, enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much, but I want to just quickly say something.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure, I'm not seeing your comments, but I'm pretty sure somebody will put a comment. What happened to X region? What happened to Region 6? What happened to Region 5, etc. We are going to be in every region because we are responding accordingly. In fact, we were in Berbice a week or two ago, and we will be back in April. So every region will be affected in a positive way.
Right.
And may I use this opportunity to say, for example, next Friday, we will be in Region 9. That is for Letten.
Right. This is the poker.
Well, we've maximized now the Poke Bridge development, but
Right.
now it's for new development,
Wow.
new areas we're opening.
Wow.
Extension of the Poke Bridge, and there's another area that we're opening.
Okay. Thanks for the update,
You're
Minister,
welcome.
and have a wonderful rest of the day. That was Minister
Same for your listeners.
Yeah, that was Minister Colin Crowe talking to us a bit about That was Minister Colin Crowe telling us a bit about what's going to be happening here today at Kwakwani in terms of the allocations of persons who would have applied for house lots. As I said, the ministry and the Central Housing and Planning Authority have been working feverishly to clear the backlog and deal with the new addition of persons applying for house lots to make sure persons can benefit from the commitment made in their manifesto, the PPPC manifesto, and then a commitment made by government to provide affordable housing for Guyanese. Guys, I'm going to be ending the program here today. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you on Monday, same time, same place, as we bring you more information and debunk the craziness that is being put out there in certain quarters. I'll try my best to attend the AFC press conference virtually because I have a few questions I'd like to ask them as well. Other than that, as I usually say before I go, it's all about peace, it's all about love, it's all about one Guyana.
This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources.